Hey everyone, I just thought I'd go ahead and do a quick currency conversion video. Today we'll talk about the Indonesia Rupiah converted to US dollars. First of all, let me just show you the currency that I had in my wallet. I know there's a few missing here. You can see here, this is the 100,000 and the 50,000. These are the two that you'll get from the ATM machines. And usually the machine will tell you which one it's going to dispense. When I went to the airport on arrival, I was able to get 2.5 million worth of the 100,000 rupiah note. And as far as side by side here, these are the old notes, and the new ones that are coming out now have the kind of a white wave going through them. And I don't have the new 100,000. And I don't have the old 50,000. And then in between here, there's one missing. The 20,000 would fit in right here, and that's a green note. I just don't happen to have one in my wallet at this time. And one thing to notice is that they get smaller as the denomination gets smaller. You can see if I line this side up equally, they get smaller as you get smaller in denomination, all the way down to the 1,000. And then, like I said, over here, the same thing, but I don't have all the old ones. And then the coins, I don't have the 1,000 coin, but I have the 500, 200, and 100. And these are the newer ones, and they feel like fake money, kind of, because they're aluminum, so they're really light. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's almost like play money, and they're really not worth much at all. You'll see what they're worth as I go over that in a second here. So there's basically two ways that I convert, on the fly to US dollars. You can always use a conversion, calculator. I have this one on my phone, this one right here, and that's the one I usually use. But if I'm in a store and I don't have my phone with me, I have to be able to do it in my head. So the way I do it is there's an inaccurate way to do it and a more accurate way. The inaccurate way would be, let's say you're looking at the 100,000. I basically take off 4 zeros, right? So I remove these 4 zeros. So move the decimal place over 4 and you have a 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5, right? So that's like $5. And that's not really accurate because the actual value is $6.10, but 5 is close. As far as the 10,000, or let's go 50,000. Again, you would take off 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got $5 divided by 2 is $2.50. The actual value is $3.05. So it's up to you if you want to go with that. Is that close enough? Is that good enough? The 10,000, same thing. You're down to take off 4. You've got $1 divided by 2 is 50 cents. The actual value is 61 cents. Sorry about his face here. Someone did some graffiti on this guy. And then again, 5,000. So now you're really getting small here. You can see they're really almost worthless. You go back to 0.5. So it's 50 cents divided by 2. So this would be worth 25 cents. And in reality, it's worth 31 cents. 2,000, you're going back 4. So you got 20 cents divided by 2 is 10 cents. And the actual value is 12 cents. Now, but if you want to be really accurate, you just have to add 20%. So let's say we go back to the 100,000. Again, you take off the 4 zeros. You got 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then 20% of 5 is 1. So you just add $1 onto 5. So that value comes to $6. And the actual value with the currency converter is $6.10. So you can see the 20% makes it a little more accurate. The 50,000, again, we have 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. Plus 20%, which is 0.5, So 2.5 now becomes 3. So this is worth $3, and the actual value is $3.05. So you can see just by adding on that 20%, you get the currency converter value with today's exchange rate. So I don't know if you'd want to be that accurate or not. This one, same thing. You go back 4, you have $1. So half of that is 50. So 20% of 50 is what? 10, right? So add on 10 cents and you got 60 cents. And the actual value is 61 cents. So that works for all of them. There is a coin that equals this 1,000 note, which I don't have here. But if we look at the value here, so if we look at the 500, again, you're going to move the decimal place back 4. So it's 0.05 divided by 2. So that's 2.5 cents. You know, that's pretty close. So it's about 3 cents if you round up. But if you take the actual conversion and add the 20%, you have 2.5 plus 20%, which is 0.005, which then brings it to 3 cents. So basically this one is worth 3 cents. These two here, you have the 200, the 100. They're actually going to be equal in value when you round them. So for the 200, we move the decimal back 4 places. So you have basically 0.02 divided by 2, which is 0.01, so 1 cent. So basically this is worth 1 cent. But if you add on the 20%, it's going to be worth 1.2 cents. So when you round that, it still comes to 1 cent. This one kind of the same thing. So anyway, these two basically equal a penny each in US terms. So let's say you go somewhere, like maybe a restaurant or whatever, and I don't know, maybe your steak or whatever costs like 336. It'll say 336 on the menu, 336, and that's actually going to equal 336,000. So that's 336,000. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead and you'll just, again, move your decimal place back 4. So now you got 33.6. Divide that by 2. So divide by 2. And that equals, what, 1680? So your meal is going to cost about 1680. Now if you wanted to add in the 20%, you could, to be more accurate, so you'd say plus 20%, and 20% of that is like 330 or something, 336. So now your actual cost is 2016. So that's kind of how it works. Sometimes I just make it simpler in my head. Let's say I think I went and bought 30 eggs the other day and it was 79,000. So I would just in my head I'd say, okay, that's 80,000. Move that back 4, so it's 8 divided by 2, so that's 4. So 8 divided by 2. So I move that back to 8 divided by 2 equals 4, of course. So basically the eggs are about $4, but to be more accurate, you would add on your 20%, and that's another 8 cents, or 80 cents, sorry. So your eggs equal 480. So that's $4.80. The actual value, if you did the currency conversion today, would be 488. So you're off by 8 cents. Anyway, that's about it for today. The other thing I noticed in this country, Indonesia, is they prefer cashless. So when you go to places, like I went to this pizza place, they did not want to take cash. They said credit card only. And I didn't understand at first, because I thought they were saying that because I was trying to give him a a 100,000, like the Philippines, they don't want to take the big notes, but it's not like that here. It's not that they don't want to take big notes, because this is actually isn't big. It's only what, $6, compared to like the US has a $100 note. This is only like a $6 note. That's their biggest one. The thing is, they just don't carry cash at all. I said, why? Why no cash? Because I thought they were going to say they don't have change, but it wasn't that. I mean, as I went to restaurants after that, they have signs out front saying cashless. So you really need to have a credit card if you're going to come to Indonesia. Eventually, this place did give me change for 100,000, but it was only because they didn't want to try to speak English to me or try to explain it to me. So they went in the back and they somehow dug up the change for a 100,000 note. Anyway, that was that. Since then, I pretty much have been using credit cards, and I think the only place you would have to use cash is like if you're out on the street, buying from a street vendor. All right, well, that's it for today. I hope this helps, and until next time.